Hi there, it's Nicole Spohr and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing the 10 cards I created with the October 2020 Spellbinders card kit of the month called Dancin Santa. Honestly, I made 10 cards, but I could have made 30. This card kit is awesome and I hope you guys think so too. I am going to take you through the kit kind of quickly. I say quickly, this is a long video. I am making 10 cards, but I want to show you everything you get in this kit because I think it is a really fantastic value and you get so much stuff, and the kit is absolutely phenomenal for card makers this month. I really can't say enough great things about it. So I opened up the dies. That creates our Dancin Santa. There's a little instruction sheet, a stamp set, some puffy stickers, some chipboard stickers. There's actually 2 sheets in that chipboard set. There is some double-sided tape, foam adhesive, sequins, some more puffy stickers. These are all like sentiments or titles if you're going to use them for scrapbooking or maybe December daily or something like that. 10 cards and 10 envelopes, a 6x6 paper pad, and there's not a bad paper in the bunch. I absolutely love this. It is so good. Love the pattern papers. I use them on each and every card today because I just can't get enough. Cardstock in greens and light green and gold and pink and dark pink, red, blue, all of the things there. So good. And the star of the show always are these pre-mades. And I want to open up all of these. I know it is going to take a minute, but I just want to show you how much you get and how many cards you really can make with basically just the pre-mades if you want to. Sometimes I find it a bit of a stretch, mostly because I am not a pre-made kind of girl normally, except for this kit. I actually really love the card kits of the month, and I like creating cards with them because they are quick and easy cards, and Spellbinders does such a good job with their pre-mades. However, this month I literally probably could have created 20 cards with these pre-mades because I feel like some months some of the dies are maybe geared more towards project life or scrapbooking or other kinds of projects and not just cards. And this month, I feel like you could make all the cards with these guys. Plus, these are really kind of my type of design. They're whimsical, they're fun. There's those elves, of course, you know, you could see I've already grouped them together. You know I'm going to use them. And the reindeer are so cute. Santa, other critters, ornaments, the light pole, penguins, presents, snowflakes. I like to group things together. So you'll notice I'll group like thought bubbles together. I'm grouping all the presents together. How I think I will use them is how I start out when I open up the kit, when I divide everything out, see what all there is. I want to see what there is. Before I start making a single card, I want to see what there is. I want to see what I think goes together. And from there, I will start building out my cards. I will tell you that I did take the card bases and I laid out the things I thought I would use on each card base. And honestly, I got to card 8 and was like, okay, that's it. Because I really want to showcase the stamp set because I think it's awesome this month. And I want to showcase the dies. And so those were going to be my remaining 2 cards. And I had to cut it off. Sometimes it's a stretch. Sometimes I'm really trying to stretch my creativity. And this time I felt like I just had to cut myself off and say, that's it, no more. Really good. And I want to mention as well, I used maybe one of the die, there's 2 of each of these, remember, for a lot of my cards. So if you really love a design, say you love the reindeers and you want to make 2 cards with them, you could. That instantly doubles the amount of cards you have on hand ready to give. So really a phenomenal value and an exceptional kit. If you are getting ready on your holiday cards, this is the kit for you. It is still available if you sign up for the card kit of the month from Spellbinders during October. You will receive the October kit. So definitely don't delay if you love it. And I will tell you that the dies this month, I have such plans. I hope I can get to it. It's been kind of a crazy month, but I really think Dancin Santa would make cute gift tags. Don't you guys think? So look for that a little bit later in the month, even if it's maybe just a video and not a blog post that goes with it or whatever. I may just throw a video up here on YouTube because I think Dancin Santa would make the cutest little tags, holiday gift tags. Look at all of these dies, you guys. I love them. There wasn't like a discard pile, and I say discard jokingly. I'm not discarding, but I often will gravitate towards my favorites first, and I will put some away that maybe don't catch my eye as much, and I will go back and shop those later if I need more product. And this time I couldn't choose. So we are going to group up the gift packages for our first card. I am just going to take us one by one. I've trimmed the red cardstock from the kit to 4 by 5 1/4, the pattern paper from the kit to 3 3/4 by 5, and then I am going to be adhering multiple banners and presents to the card. As always, one of my go-to tricks when using pre-mades like this is to use foam adhesive and adhere these products with foam adhesive because it makes adhering, or it makes the card just instantly look a little bit more interesting and not as much pre-made. It gives some dimension. It lifts those images off of a pattern background that is busy, and it really helps make the card fun by grouping like images together, like I am doing here with those gift packages. And then of course I'm grouping sentiments together. There's going to be a couple above and a couple below, and it instantly adds a really fun touch. And this card really doesn't need a whole lot else. I am going to take some of the red sequins and scatter those throughout my design, but that's it. This card is done. I do want to mention as well that I worked really hard this month to not incorporate a bunch of extra dies. I always get some like that, and some really just want to see the kit and don't want to see a whole lot of extra. And so I kind of try to go back and forth. It really just depends on how inspired I am and if I feel like I can give a good card without that. And this month I really did. There is an exception to that near the end of the video where I use some dies from Spellbinders on one card, but for the most part I stuck to the kit. Next, we're going to do a penguin card, which is just going to be a strip of pattern paper through the center of our card. Then these borders, pre-made, love that. Didn't have to die cut them, didn't have to do anything, but glue them down in place. So we will glue our background down first. We're going to glue our scallop borders on the top and bottom of this, and that's building our background for the penguin card. And then you will notice that there's some little gold foil borders. That's from the gold mirror, or not foil, gold mirror cardstock borders. From the cardstock in the kit, I've just trimmed to really thin, put double-sided adhesive on the back, and then we're going to use that as the divider between the two patterns. So the scallop pattern and then the green on green pattern. The Tool N One, that little sharp tip, not only fantastic for piercing and cleaning out your dies and getting the paper out of your dies, but it removes backing paper like a charm. That Tool N One is my very favorite tool. I use it on everything, and you might notice that Spellbinders has a new color for that really nice neutral brown. I absolutely love it. We're going to trim off any extra paper that might be hanging off the edge before we go to building our scene. And again, some of the elements will be adhered with foam adhesive and some glued directly to the background. This isn't quite as busy of a background, and we have some delicate dies that are not going to be quite as easy to adhere with foam adhesive, so we will just glue those directly to the back. In addition to pre-made die cuts, we're going to use a chipboard sticker wreath. We're going to use some puffy little peppermint stickers as well. So lots and lots of elements from the kit here. We're going to hang the wreath in between the penguins. We're going to put the sentiment down there right underneath them, that jingle bells. And then we're gluing candy canes. And I'm just going to have this great little candy cane and peppermint border, which helps fill in that area to the left and right of our penguins. So much fun, you guys. I really can't get over how phenomenal this kit is. And I'm not kidding. When I tell you I could have created 30 cards, I could have, because this is just right down my alley. The colors are down my alley. The design is down my alley. Very, very cute and very fun. You could even make tags if you wanted to with many of the components. And honestly, with a lot of the components left over, I could make a lot of gift tags here. Now, to make the peppermints lie flat, I did trim one side with my scissors, since I can't really tuck it underneath the borders as I've already adhered it down. So that's a very easy fix. And then there's a lot of white space up high. We could leave that. We could add sequins, but I opted to just add some of these little star die cuts instead. And again, no extra dies or glimmer plates or anything of the such was used for this card. Every single little piece of this one is from the kit. We're even going to decorate the wreath with the teeny tiny little red sequins from the kit. I'm using an embellishment wand to pick those up and pop them in place. It really makes the wreath have a little bit of glitz and glimmer. If you don't want to do that, you could always maybe take glossy accents or Nuvo crystal drops or something like that and add it to parts of the wreath if you wanted to. So there is our penguin border card. Very fun. And I thought I was done, but I felt like I needed some more peppermints and I needed them in a different color. So that's why I went with these little puffy green peppermints that we're going to adhere on both sides. Our next card is really kind of a clean, simple design. I'm going to use 5 pre-made die cuts, pattern paper, sequins, and cardstock from the kit, and that is it. This card literally came together in minutes. I have backed the die cuts already with foam adhesive to make this go a little bit quicker, but it's really bold, green, red, black. That's it. We've got black cardstock, we've got pattern paper. We're going to adhere all of that to our card base. And then we're simply going to have that cute little Santa head peeking over the thought bubble, and the thought bubble's coming up from the car with the tree strapped on the hood. And then Naughty or Nice is popped up down there along the bottom edge just to kind of ground it all down near the bottom so it's not just floating out in outer space. And then we will finally finish with the season's greetings thought bubble up near the top and a scattering of red sequins from the kit. Bam! Done so fast. That might have been the fastest card today. Trying to remember. I'm pretty sure this one was the fastest card. And I love that. And there is quite a bit of white space, so a little scattering of sequins just kind of gives it a little bit more whimsy and is a great little sparkly finishing touch. Our next card features nothing but cardstock, pattern paper, and pre-mades from the kit. Some are going to be glued directly to the cards, some will be popped up with foam adhesive, but there's no additional sequins, there's no additional sparkly of anything, no Nuvo crystal drops, no glossy accents, nothing of the sort. And it may be one of my favorite cards. We're going to create a scene card completely from die cuts. What could be better? You guys know I love my scene cards. We're going to trim pattern paper to 4 by 5 1/4 and adhere it to our card base that comes in the kit. And then we are going to trim a strip of white cardstock to go along the bottom. Normally I'd like to do a little snowy bank, but I didn't really have a Spellbinders die that did that, and so much of it gets hidden, I decided I didn't really think I needed to do that anyway. We're going to glue the trees. The trees are so delicate. The little tops of the trees are just so delicate. So I felt like gluing those directly to the card would preserve them a little bit better. We're going to use all 4, 2 on the right, 2 on the left, and then we're going to adhere Santa holding the packages, an owl on a sleigh, and a bear holding like a little sparkler. Those are our critters. We're going to have 2 sentiments up near the top. Merry Christmas to you and your family, and then underneath a little no peeking. It's looking cute, right? Watch when we add these the cute little owl and then the bear. The final thing I did, and it was kind of a last minute decision, was take the two little pink stars and attach those to the light green trees. Next up, we have our Ornaments card. And I knew instantly when I saw these ornaments that I wanted to group them together, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to use a large puffy sticker sentiment, as long as we put our ornaments high enough up on the card panel. So we have a background trimmed to 4 by 5 1/4, and we are securing some gold string. Now this gold string is from my stash. It is not part of the kit, so that is one little extra here. But we're going to secure that to each ornament and then wrap it around the panel and secure it to the back. That's actually how we're going to have it appear that the ornaments are hanging. I love that with ornaments, if it looks like they're hanging, whether you draw it in or you actually use some string. And then we're attaching Merry Christmas. Now, I will be honest, I had a little trouble figuring out where Merry Christmas was going to go. I went a little too low because I really like to add a little sentiment strip when I have a large greeting like this. So luckily I was able to pull this up and move it a little bit. I hadn't really pressed down too terrible hard. I think I used my Tool N One to help me move it just a tad. But that way I can put ho 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 underneath, and I like the addition of a little sentiment strip. I think it balances out the card a little bit nicer. You'll see what I mean as I finally get my my puffy sticker where I want it to go. I figured out my placement for my ornaments. Don't forget the little dot for your eye. We're gonna go ahead and pop up ho 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 down there below. And there are some finishing touches on this card that take it from really cute to really, really cute. And I think that's the addition of some puffy stickers and some Nuvo crystal drops. I did a little bit more embellishing on this card than I did on some of the others, but these ornaments are a great opportunity to add a little something to the design. We're going to have some Nuvo crystal drops on the green ornament, a puffy sticker on the pink one, and then we can add some additional puffy stickers around. I was really conscious about which puffy stickers I used. There's some in a nice light blue. There's no light blue anywhere else on this card. I don't want to use those. So I picked the mint because they work nicely with our mint sentiment and our mint ornament. And can we just talk a minute about this color combination? I'm really digging this for holiday. I think this is a super color combination, and it's really inspired me in other card making to maybe make some cards in this color combination. It's always so fun to see where we can find inspiration for upcoming projects, and this is definitely one. I was very, very inspired by this particular color combination. Now that we have our hanging ornaments, the card is super cute, but let's decorate those ornaments. So here's a little mint snowflake sticker. And we'll add some additional ones just here and there on the card, because why not? I think it really adds a little something to the background. And then we will go in with some Nuvo crystal drops in red berry and carnation pink. Again, my color choices, I don't have any mint Nuvo crystal drops, but I have red and pink. And then we'll use a little white blizzard, my very most favorite, most often used. I've bought more than one bottle of it because I use it so much, and that is the iridescent clear sparkly that it's ornaments. We need to make at least one of them have some sparklies on it, right? So we'll just go over some of the dots in that ornament and give them a little sparkle. Well, we are clicking away on our cards. I think we've got 5 made and 5 left. So one of the pre-mades that drew my eye right away when I opened up the package was the cute little elves. In fact, I so wished that there were coordinating dies for these guys too to go with Santa, because I love them. I love this design a lot. It's kind of that retro-y elf kind of look that for some reason I just really dig. So I have got some black cardstock trimmed to 4 by 5 1/4, adhered to our card base. I did not get it very even, so I'm lifting it up with a little undo. I know I've been asked about that before. It removes things without ruining them, as long as it's not liquid adhesive. If you've used liquid, then you're pretty much, you know, stuck with what you got. But I try not to use it all that often, but it does come in handy sometimes. And then we have our pattern paper, which is 3 3/4 by 5, matted on top. Again, no die cutting. I did no extra die cutting, with the exception of my stamped card here near the end, and it's very minimal. But I just kept it simple. Trimmer and kit components. Now we're going to build this scene, and I will tell you there's a little trick to being able to layer all of these elements, and that is basically the same trick I use when creating a card that has lots of layered stamp elements. Lay them out first. I laid them all out on another card base over next to me, so I kind of knew where they were all going to go. So I had an idea what needs to be popped up first, what's going to be up on top. You don't need as much foam adhesive often for the thing that's in the foreground, because it's going to be laying over something else, and I don't want mine popped up more than 1 layer of foam adhesive, because I still want it to be nice and flat. I use pretty low profile foam adhesive, and that way it's still flat enough that it's going to be able to be mailed easily. In fact, I had to peel off a bit of foam adhesive from the elf because I noticed I had a little bit too much on him where he was overlapping presents and the little girl elf. But we'll get it. And there is the scene. Absolutely darling. That little light pole is so cute. The greetings here is a thought bubble that says Santa is on his way, and Jingle All the Way is going to go down below. Yes, I used holiday cheer first. I did not like how those stacked up together, so I went ahead and removed those, and I can save them for another card. This one little strip down near the bottom works a lot better. So there are times where I try something and it doesn't work. When I had it laid out, I thought that's super cute. When we got to the actual card, yes, I still liked it, but just space-wise, I felt like it was trying to crowd too many strips down below, and it just didn't work with the pattern paper background. Again, using the red sequins from the kit, you get a whole little bag full of them. There is a ton. I didn't even touch on the amount of sequins you get, so definitely a great little value there. And then we're going to create another very quick and easy scene, but this time I'm actually not going to do that much foam adhesive. So we have some black pattern paper. Again, there are some pre-made scallop borders in this that work phenomenal. We're going to use the little blue snowflake ones here. I love that. We're going to frame up our middle section. We're going to separate those two sections with some gold mirror cardstock, and then glue the components for our scene directly to the pattern paper and pop up our sentiments. So this one is a lot like the card with the penguins. Just this is a vertical orientation as opposed to horizontal. We're going to divide the scallop from the pattern with those little gold foil or gold mirror strips. Just so easy with those little scallops. I love those. I wish all kits had those little pre-made scallops because I think they're just a great little addition to almost any card design. Like I said, I'm not popping up a lot of the components on this card except for the greetings. So we're going to layer a couple greetings down there at the bottom, and I'm going to add a thought bubble after I've glued down the packages and snowmen, because I felt like it needed a little pop of color, a little height, a little something. And then remember earlier when we were doing the Ornaments card and I was talking about the little mint snowflakes and how there were blue snowflakes as well, and I didn't choose to use those because obviously mint worked better with the Ornaments card. Well, this is a fantastic opportunity to use those little blue puffy sticker snowflakes because the blue works so nicely with our little scallop borders, and the blues of the die cuts and the outline of the snowmen and everything. So we're going to add some little puffy snowflake stickers around this one to finish off our card design, and just easy and perfect. Next, we have one more pre-made before we get to the cards with a little bit more detail. And this is going to feature those cute, cute reindeer. I'm going to use both of the light borders. Again, we have a background panel. The red cardstock is 4 by 5 1/4, so slightly smaller. It's going to be matted up nice on the white card base. Our pattern paper is 3 3/4 by 5. And then we are going to be adhering the light strips, the light pole, or the Christmas light strips, the light pole, the reindeer, and the thought bubbles, or the sentiment strips rather, not thought bubbles, with foam adhesive. The candy canes are going to be adhered directly to the card base, and then we're going to use some little puffy peppermint stickers and sequins. Pulling out everything here pretty much for this card, kind of combining little bits and bobs from all over. I love the little reindeer group together. We are going to dress up the Christmas lights with some Nuvo crystal drops in White Blizzard so they have some shine. We're going to add that to Rudolph's nose as well, and then just a little crystal lacquer or glossy accents to the other reindeer's nose to give it a little bit of that dimension. Really, really fun. This is definitely more of a scene builder card as well. Kind of similar to the scene where we had Santa and the critters out in the falling snow of the background. In fact, I used the falling snow background for this one too. I just didn't create a white border across my card. And then with the light pole foam adhesive, I should probably start with the foam adhesive back behind the Christmas lights. I put little squares back behind each light except for where it overlapped. So the first one, the one in the back, there's foam adhesive behind all of them. And then there's not foam adhesive behind about 3 of the lights on the second strand where it's overlapping the first. And then I really needed to be conscious and aware of where my foam adhesive was on the light pole, because I don't want it to be going over where the strings of Christmas lights are. So I even had to pull that off and remove a little bit. And then these little puffy sticker peppermints that I was talking about are just going to finish it off. And then that scattering of sequins, the little red sequins included in the kit, we're going to add those throughout as well. I had a little dish on my desk where I had dumped out quite a few of them, so it was easy to just pick them up and pop them on my card. So now we're going to get to the part that I don't want to say I really, really enjoy. I enjoy all of it, but you guys know me, and I love stamping and I love die cutting. I like all the detail work. And we're going to create this clean and simple stamped card with a stamp set included in the kit. I love it. This is where we're pulling in the Nestabilities Essential Label Etched die. I die cut it once from red cardstock, and then I die cut the label and then the little dotted label from the pink cardstock in the kit, which is going to layer over the red one. And we've trimmed some pattern paper to 4 inches by 5 1/4. On our pink label, we are going to stamp Rudolph with a black ink for Copic coloring. We are going to Copic color right over this pink background, and it is going to look amazing. I absolutely love how it turned out. I was a little nervous. I don't normally color on pink, but it ended up working really, really good. Then we're going to stamp a phrase in black ink right down here to the left of Rudolph. And right above, we're going to stamp Merry Christmas from the stamp set using a red ink. So two-tone ink to kind of fill out this whole little label. And then there's snowflakes in the stamp set as well. And I'm going to add some stamped and embossed snowflakes up high before we start coloring in our image. And this literally was the easiest, quickest coloring. This is probably one of the more clean and simple cards from the kit, truth be told, even using a stamp set and not pre-mades, just because there's not lots and lots of stuff being adhered and lots of stuff going on. It's very simple. It's contained basically to this label with a nice pattern paper border all the way around. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and stamp our snowflakes. And I'm just going to grab them. And as I said, this stamp set is really great. I love this month's stamp set. We're going to use it not only on this card, but our die cut card here that's coming up last as well. Really works fantastic, has great sentiments, cute images. I just love it. Like I said, we're going to stamp and emboss these snowflakes. And I've kept everything in my MISTI because it makes it easy if I need to restamp anything. And I did end up restamping some of the snowflakes here. And that white does show up really nicely even on the light pink. And it keeps the focus on the red stamped Merry Christmas and then the eventually the colored reindeer. I'm going to take my Tool N One and just pierce out any of those little holes that maybe didn't die cut all the way through, or pop out anyway when I die cut it. And then let's color him in. A little E43, E44, and E47. Very, very quick and easy coloring. I did not do anything fancy here at all. Now, anything that would normally be white if you were stamping and coloring on white is pink. So I do highly recommend some sort of a white pen. I'm going to be using a Uniball pen in white to fix the eyes, the polka dots on his bow tie, and then the dots on his back, which helps a ton in the finishing part of this card. It's such a teeny small detail, but really does make a giant difference. About have him all colored in as far as the fur. And the cardstock did feel a little slicker than normal cardstock, but I just persevered and went with it, and it ended up working great. Was inspired by the stickers and pre-mates to just color him in just like those, but you could use anything you wanted. So green eyes and a little red bow tie and a red nose. Isn't he cute? I didn't even worry about coloring around the polka dots because we can just take our pen and go right over them. And you might have to do it more than once. I did, to make sure that when the white dried, I wasn't seeing a ton of red or anything else through that. So sweet, you guys. I mean, so easy. And yes, I'm piercing again because I accidentally had a little uh-oh moment with the first one, and it's lucky I kept all my stamps in my MISTI because I could die cut another label and stamp it up real fast again. I actually smeared ink and there was no way to fix it. Absolutely none. I tried everything. So there is my label. Honestly, from here, we're going to attach pattern paper. We're going to attach our label. We're going to take some Nuvo crystal drops in White Blizzard for the nose and add a few additional ones to kind of fill in the snowy feel up above. And that's it. There is our stamped card all finished. I don't know about you, but I love how that turned out, and I really love the pink-red color scheme. All right, Dancin Santa, he's up next. This is the exclusive dies included in the kit this month, and they are so fun. Now, you don't have to make Santa move if you don't want to, but hey, he does, so, and it's easy, so let's go ahead and do it. I have stamped Merry and Bright on my pattern paper. My pattern paper measures 3 3/4 by 5 inches, and my black cardstock measures 4 by 5 1/4. So again, we're doing the matted thing, much like I've done throughout many of my cards this month in this video. And then after I stamped and embossed Merry and Bright, which is from the stamp set, we are stamping Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, Let Your Heart Be Light with black ink right underneath. So that is all of our sentiment. This is a lot more sentiment than I've used on many of the cards today, and everything is stamped, no pre-mades here. I didn't go ahead and add my snowflakes. I wish I had, but I'm actually going to do that near the end. I don't even know that I did that on camera. It's going to be stamping and embossing some snowflakes from the stamp set. But here's what we do. I figured out where his legs went, and you can see there's that little hole there. I went around it with a powder tool to make sure the edges were not sticky at all with a foam adhesive square. That's a small size foam adhesive square. And then I am going to attach the body. Now, I actually put adhesive where I didn't need to. I don't really want it on this down below on the sides because I want the legs to have free range of motion to move. So just up high is where I ended up keeping that. And there is his body, and now we just need to finish adding the rest of Santa. So we have his head here, and really he's upside down. I want to mention that really quick. I don't know what happened there, but I colored him upside down. His face anyway. I like to color in faces with Copic markers as opposed to a cardstock color, just because I don't think I have a cardstock color that works really great. And so I just simply added some quick coloring, and then you can see that the beard is going to line up with the sides of the face, and the hat lines up with the little score line up along the top. Yes, I die cut everything off camera, and my very favorite part of Santa, besides the dancing legs, the moving legs, the little moving part there, is the fact that when we get to his belt buckle here in a minute, it's an S, and I think that's so cute, clever. It's just the details. Spellbinders is fantastic with the details. Now, I want to mention one thing I did that is not really necessarily how it's supposed to be put together, but I did do this because I liked it. There is a piece, I'm trying to see if it's on camera right now, those little white pieces over to the left. One is a nose, but the other one is a mitt for his hands. Well, I actually am going to be using those not only to decorate the tops of the boots, I added some little white fur to the tops of those, but I will die cut those again from black cardstock to use as his mittens, so it looks like he's holding on to his Christmas list. I liked the legs as they were, but I felt like they needed a little more decoration, and I probably could have even die cut that from black to add there, but I don't think, if you didn't know necessarily, I think it just adds a cute detail to his boots. And here's that belt buckle. I did die cut that from gold because it has that S on it. How awesome is that, you guys? I love that. And then I did pop up his nose with 2 layers. If you follow me and have seen me do faces like this before, that's something I do a lot because it just makes the nose stick out a little bit. And I just used whatever die cut I had laying around. So I had black from die cutting his eyes black, and I just went ahead and put that down first, then the white, colored it in. I did put foam adhesive back behind his face, which made it easy to inlay the eyes. We're gluing down his hands. You can see here that little white part that I've added to his boot. Again, yes, or it could even be, you know, the little cuff of his pants, whatever, it does not matter. But it's not necessarily that. It actually is his little hands, I believe, that, you know, wrap around and can hold on to a present or the Santa list or whatever you want them to. And I'll show you that here in a second. So his legs can move. I wonder if I show it here. I will show it here in a little bit. And then I just finished the card with the packages and things down along the bottom edge. So there's his little dancing legs. So much fun. Cute little Dancin Santa. Cute gift packages. I did those out of all different colors. Even some pre-made die cuts. I like the patterns on them, the tags. So I used the die cut right on with the tag because I liked that pattern. It was nice and small. Here is our stamped card with Rudolph in pinks and reds. Lots and lots of pre-mades with the rest of our cards. Ornaments decorated with Nuvo crystal drops. Our pre-made elves with all of the packages. Snowmen. Our cute little outdoor scene with Santa and critters. Penguins. And all of the rest. I hope this has inspired you to have fun with your Spellbinders October 2020 card kit of the month called Dancin Santa. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for these 10 cards featuring the October 2020 card kit of the month from Spellbinders. The supplies I used to create my cards are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here is another video featuring Spellbinders club kits that you might be interested in. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell to never miss a new card making video. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.